evening. This is James Robert Deal, and today is July the 12th, 2017. I'm running for city council, but the issues that I want to talk about would apply to most other cities. My campaign website is jamesrobertdeal.org, and we already have a caller. Hello, this is James. Is this Allie?
Yes.
Well, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I was surprised to get this email and find out that you're running for office again.
Well, I have this. I'm called a habitual candidate. I ran for city council 4 years ago. 5 years ago, I ran for lieutenant governor. I've run for county council twice, and last year I ran for governor. I got 1% of the vote. But I figure 1% is better than 0% being aware of the important ideas that I'm running on. I believe in local control, that cities have more control over their local circumstances than they are aware. And one of the issues is the wild spraying of Roundup, officially by the city. The city spends thousands of dollars every year on Roundup and then sprays it on the cracks in our streets. And the World Health Organization says that it is a type 2A carcinogen.
Yes, and Mike Papantonio was just doing something about that and how Monsanto is appealing what California just decided about them putting the cancer notice on the glyphosate.
Yes. Glyphosate is one of the ingredients in so-called Roundup, and glyphosate is the one that the World Health Organization decided was type 2A carcinogen. But Roundup also contains aluminum and other adjuvants. An adjuvant is something that makes the ingredient more potent. So
Now, one thing that I haven't been able to confirm is that I heard people really don't have gluten intolerance because wheat has always had gluten. What they have is the reaction to that glyphosate because they use that to spray on it before they harvest it.
This is Allie Larkin we're talking to. We're both members of the Washington Association Against Fluoridation. What's our official name?
Washington Action for Safe Water.
Washington Action for
Vice President on the board.
Yes. And she's generally hip about a lot of topics. But
Yes, I was an elected official for 12 years. I investigated 4 subjects. I was ignored, dismissed, and finally chased out of office. And realized after 12 years that I was just about the only elected official I knew that I liked. And that was because every time I took a vote, I would ask myself first, does this benefit the people? And the answer to that question would determine my vote. And over that 12 years, too often, I was the only no vote on issues that did not benefit the people.
so let me talk about.
Paycheck, my health care, and my lifestyle did not depend on me voting for bad public policies that didn't benefit the people.
So let me take over here for just a minute. A type 2 carcinogen. You will read more about it if you go to jamesrobertdeal.org/organic city. There's a drop-down menu at the very top of jamesrobertdeal.org. It says organic city, and you can go down to various topics such as Roundup type 2A carcinogen, toxic golf course, Monsanto, poison vendor. So a type 2A carcinogen is one that has been confirmed to be carcinogenic in animals. And therefore it becomes a probable human carcinogen. So generally they've called into 2 classes, 1 and 2. 1 is human, 2 is animal. 1A would be confirmed human carcinogen, 1B would be probable human carcinogen, and so forth, with the 2A a confirmed animal carcinogen. So, and what Allie was mentioning about Crohn's disease is that Even non-GMO wheat is getting sprayed for the most part with Roundup. And why is that? Because the Roundup will kill the wheat so it can all be harvested simultaneously. Whereas if you don't apply it, then some of it will ripen now, some will ripen a week later, some will ripen a week after that, and you might have a rainstorm or a hailstorm or a windstorm. So it's to the financial benefit of the farmers. But this Roundup doesn't wash off. It's there for you to eat, and it's in your food, and it's in anything made with soy. It's in with most sugar products, because most sugar products come from GMO beets. It's also in cottonseed oil, and you've got to watch out for flax. Flax has to be organic. So I'm sorry, folks. For the most part, you need to go organic. It's hard to get away from Roundup. And then people spray it on their streets, and you can tell the lawns that are Roundup sprayed. If they're being regularly maintained, they look like putting greens. If they're not, they have big empty patches in them. If you look at my lawn, you see 8 different kinds of grass. And I just go out there with a shovel and hack away at the dandelions, and they're fairly easy to get rid of. But also you can spray them with vinegar. Lynnwood has the authority, I believe, under its police powers and our zoning powers, to just say, first of all, the city's not going to buy it, and the city's not going to spray it on our parks. Some of the parks are organic. No Roundup on them. Others are organic, are Roundup sprayed. So how do you like that? That's probably true of any city. Then we have this golf course, and I want to read to you about the 19 different poisons which are sprayed on our golf course. The warning labels on the cans and bags say, among other things, toxic to invertebrates and fish, high potential for runoff into surface water after application, toxic to fish and aquatic organisms, extremely toxic to mammals and birds, or dogs, and other predatory and scavenging animals, hazardous to fish and aquatic organisms in adjacent aquatic sites. Runoff from treated areas may be hazardous to aquatic organisms in neighboring areas, toxic to fish and birds. I'm reading from the different labels on the different chemicals. Highly toxic to bees and beneficial insects. Area must be vacated by non-protected persons and animals. Respirator with an organic vapor OV cartridge or canister with any N, R, or P filter. 2 of these are classified by the EPA as a possible carcinogen. Nevertheless, we spray them on our golf course, and there are rumors that lady golf pros have a higher breast cancer rate than non-women golf professionals. I have not been able to substantiate this. The golf course is owned 40% by the city of Lynnwood, 50% by the Edmonds Community College, and 10% by the state of Washington. The golf course owes around $1.3 million to the city of Lynnwood. Lynnwood threw up its hands and decided it didn't want to be in the golf course management business and has leased it out to a company which manages most of the golf courses in the greater Seattle area. Now, when President Obama went to Martha's Vineyard, he would play golf on the Martha's Vineyard golf course, which is an organic golf course. You can read that about that if you go to jamesrobertdeal.org. Look for Organic City, and the drop down under that, one of the ones is Toxic Golf Course. So the people who own the golf course say they spend more money on labor, but they save money on not having to buy the chemicals. However, they say the fact that it's an organic golf course attracts a lot more business. So maybe that would be some way that the Lynnwood Golf Course could quit being a money-losing venture. So what powers do cities have in comparison to the state? Oftentimes, states overrule cities and say cities can't pass laws of a certain type. The states created the federal government. The federal government only has those powers which the states declared that the federal government had. But I think was a bit of a power grab when the states created the federal government, and that is that the states asserted themselves as having great sovereignty over the cities and diminishing cities' local authority. So cities have general authority over police matters. We can have our own police force, but we can also regulate our trash pickup, and we can also probably ban people from spraying Roundup on their lawns and ban companies from offering services that spray such pesticides on their lawns. I am going to take a short break for music and come back to you, and we're going to hear what Ms. Larkin has to say about such things. I'm going to play a few minutes from my campaign theme song, which is Do Unto Others.
To others as you would have them do unto you. Prophets must be goal number 2 after doing something good for the world. Hey, Mr. Rich Guy, I'm talking to you. Hey, big company, I'm talking to you too. Hey, big government, I'm talking to you too. Do unto others applies to all. Hey, Monsanto, where's your code? Your code of ethics, you should have one. Hey, you fraudulent seller of carcinogenic Roundup, Monsanto, where's your code? Profits must be goal number 2 after doing
So I'm back, and I need to re-record that song, but it's got some great lyrics. So we ask, hey ExxonMobil, look up, not down, to solar and wind and wave. Stop drilling now. The future is green. Be a big green energy company. Hey ExxonMobil, stop your frackin' ways. Your methane is even worse than your CO2. Quit poisoning the water. Quit poisoning the air. Be a big green energy company. Hey Shell Oil, how much did you spend? $8 billion in the Chukchi Sea? You left, you said there was no oil, but really there's a lot. It was Mother Nature's storms that drove you off. $8 billion would build enough solar enough solar to power permanently 230,000 homes. Polluting the world is not only morally wrong, long term it makes absolutely no financial sense. You can make a tidy profit without fracking up the world. Do unto others applies to all. Hey, cattle rancher, take your beeves off the public land. Give the buffalo and the wolf a place to roam. Profits must be goal number 2 after doing something good for the world. Do unto others applies for our descendants, our duty to those billions yet unborn, our sons and our daughters for the next 10,000 years. Do unto others applies for all. And do unto our Mother Earth as you would have her be a home for your children. Anyway, that's my campaign theme song. I wrote it last year when I was running for governor. But the topic today is the spraying of toxic chemicals onto streets, our golf course, and the fact that it is a carcinogen, and the fact that it is a salmon killer. Now, if you want to help me in my campaign, you can send emails to your friends, and the link to send them is jamesrobertdeal.org/platform. The other one you can send is jamesrobertdeal.org/radio, because I'm going to run these every Sunday and every Wednesday. So let's see who's calling in. This is James.
Hi, this is Allie.
Hey, Allie, welcome back. Did you have any thoughts?
And it wouldn't let me call back in on my Comcast line, so I got my old cell phone out of and tried it, so that's what I'm on now.
So, what would you have to offer on the subject of our cities have the power to ban such things? I think that really the issue we would share, having fought the fluoridation fight for so long together, is the absolute dumb as a board blank stare that people in authority give you when you come up with an argument or point out that something that is toxic, like fluoridation, that all their lives they've been fed a big lie by the profiteers saying, oh, it's safe and effective. Oh, it's good for your teeth. Oh, it should be in your toothpaste. Oh, it should be in your mouthwash. Oh, the dentist should rub it on your teeth. So everybody seems to be hypnotized, maybe. Would you, in fact, I'll tell you what, Allie, I made a presentation to a group last week. So I was handing out my fluoridation paper, and one guy said, oh, no, I don't want to see that. I believe in fluoridation. I said, well, sir, I read everything I can get my hands on that is in favor of fluoridation, because I want to know if I'm wrong. But wouldn't you be interested in reading something that says that fluoridation is not safe and effective? He says, nope. So I've noticed this kind of pre-programmed, built-in resistance to reason. Have you noticed that? I mean, that's what you were talking about, Allie, right?
Well, yes, James, and I don't know if you're aware that a while back, the Seattle City Council had scheduled on their neighborhood committees meeting, I think it was headed up by Sally Bagshaw, and that they were going to have, the name is slipping me, from Seattle Public Utilities, was going to be speaking to that subcommittee with a 30-minute presentation on water fluoridation.
Yeah, and when we go there to talk, we get 3 minutes each.
Yes, so Audrey Adams, she came up with a list of 7 questions, and she put it out to us. We edited it, and aide in Sally Bagshaw's office saying, "Oh, we think it would be much better if you had a conversation with about fluoride in the Sam Smith room at a later date."
I see.
And they literally crossed off the agenda the 30 minutes of his talk on water fluoridation from the agenda.
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. There is an activist who's been working on this issue for some years, and he's found that he was completely ignored. So if you go to Lynnwood, if you go to jamesrobertdeal.org and then the drop down under Organic City, you'll come to the section where engineer William Linder gives his information, and he says that he's sort of given up because he was just ignored. But to me, that just means I need to work harder and do more to inform people, and that's why I run for office every year, is to wake folks up. I'm going to pause here for just a minute and play a short piece that I revised, and I play it my own way. It's Bach's Minuet in G. This is Sorry about that. This is James Robert Deal, and we're talking about having a cleaner organic city. Is becoming an organic city so unusual? Well, I don't think so. The whole nation of France has banned Roundup, and the nation of Bhutan has declared that it's an organic country. So it's disappointing that when the World Health Organization declared Roundup to be a type 2A carcinogen, that the president didn't right away use his executive powers to ban it. So 500 pounds of fungicides per year, plus other pesticides, and around 19 different types of pesticides, are highly toxic and flow into the creeks and into Puget Sound. Many of these pesticides are not approved for use by Integrated Pest Management Program. Integrated Pest Management allows some use of pesticides, but what you do is you target a small area early, and I don't know exactly how it works. This is not going on just in Lynnwood. This is going on in cities all around the world, all around the country. And pretty much every garage in America has a spray bottle of Roundup. So I'm getting some posts here, and let me go check my email, see if anybody's sending me an email. Got a comment from Larry. He says, "Keep up the good work." Nothing else. A way that Roundup kills salmon, and the way that Roundup in non-organic foods gives people a sick stomach is that it kills a certain bacteria that's necessary for digestion. Now, some animals are more sensitive to Roundup than others. Apparently, we can at least not die right away, whereas the salmon die right away. And it might have something to do with the medium that the fish live in and how quickly they absorb salts in fresh water. Out in the ocean, salmon have to excrete salt. When they're in fresh water, they have to absorb salts and retain salts. And if Roundup forms a salt, that would mean that it would suck it in. Fluoride forms a salt in river water, and that's how it kills salmon, because they are, as anadromous fish, switch and become salt absorbing and salt retaining, and fluoride is one of the salts they retain. Maybe Roundup is too. So I'm sorry that organic food is more expensive. I would suggest that everybody who can grow their own in the backyard, which is what I do. I want to thank you for listening, and I'm going to go out with another song that I wrote. It's based on a true story. I'll be back July the 12th at 8 p.m. That's on a Sunday. Once the voter pamphlet comes out, I'm going to be doing this every night. Okie dokie.
Follow your truth, she would say, wherever it leads you, and do not fear the truth you may find. I hope there is a God above, I pray there is no devil. I hope there is a heaven, I pray there is no hell. Some may be deserving of punishment infernal. May they be punished no more and no less. Some may be deserving of retirement in heaven. If I am so lucky, my hope is to play the big pipe organ. Greenland will melt, Antarctica too. oceans will rise, our cities will be undersea attractions. A comet will fall into Atlantic, tsunami cross Pacific, will overtop the coastal nukes, plutonium catch fire and burn. Once a light, those nukes will burn for 1,000 years. We will live underground, come out only in hazmat. The sun in solar maximum will send us a mass ejection. Electronics will be toasted and we will return to the 1800s. You may say it's unlikely, but such things have happened before. Unlikely things that have happened before will eventually happen again. Life is a tragedy, you said, an ancient sage. A tragedy to those who feel, but a comedy to those who think. So I've thought, and I've thought about it often, about taking my own life. The thing that has kept me going is knowing I'll be dead soon enough. I was sitting by her side when my mother died at 90. Dying won't be so bad, she said. In heaven I can smoke if I want. Follow your truth, she would say, wherever it leads you, and do not fear the truth you may find.